Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it is
It is what?
almost November. It's kind of amazing though.
We got 5 more days.
Exactly. It's almost November. I mean,
1 or 2 days it'd almost be November. We still
It's-
got.
we're in single digits.
Oh, okay.
So,
You ain't even had your birthday yet, so it's still got to be October.
yeah, I know, but it's almost November. So, yeah. So that means we're going to be talking about Topaz.
Because it's almost November.
It is. It's almost November. That's that special time of year, almost November. It's like it's almost Friday, but it's not.
This is Tuesday. That's 3 days yet.
Hey, we're getting closer. Okay, anyway, we are talking about Topaz. Topaz.
That must be, what, the continental pronunciation?
Yeah. We're talking about Topaz today, more specifically Imperial Topaz. And I would say the vast majority of people have never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard of Topaz, though, right?
Yeah, but not Imperial
Imperial?
Topaz. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with like a crown or anything on it, maybe a little sash.
But to some degree, behind its name, that's what happened.
Well, yeah.
Because the czars coveted
Yeah,
Topaz.
but that's not like just common knowledge.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a Russian royalty back in the 1700s, then of course you knew what it was.
Yeah.
But now, no, not so much.
Yeah, and it sounds like maybe, we did a little reading up here that it sounds like there's could be a real scarcity of Imperial Topaz.
To meet, the scarcity of people's knowledge of it.
Yeah. So it's going to match, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically, what, two mines in Brazil that produce, 80% or maybe 90% of the topaz?
Yeah. Well, of this type of topaz.
Yes, okay.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a couple other places in the world that produce it, but
maybe we ought to
to that
show them.
extent.
Maybe we ought to show them. And I almost wonder if we don't need a little bit of light, because this.
We got a little bit of light. That's what we got.
Let me go get a little bit more.
But no, we're kind of keying on this one because, for one, this is probably for one, Topaz is one of November's birthstones. But the other thing is whenever we're talking about Topaz, almost everybody associates blue with Topaz. They think that that's the only color, but the reality is Topaz comes in a wide range of colors, and some of the more sought after is this Imperial Topaz that we're going to talk about. And what sets this apart from any of the others is obviously its color is different, and that actually is the main reason for its for its desirability. A lot of times it's going to have kind of an orangish paint to it, have maybe a little bit of red in it. So that's why he's going to go get another light here and make it a little bit easier for us to see those colors. In the meantime, while we're waiting on him to get back, I'm kind of show you some pictures of some of this stuff. It's really impressive. There's a little bit of variety in that color, and basically they're going to have that orange pink hue to them, and there's still a lot of discrepancy among a bunch of cutters and jewelers and gemologists on what it is that dictates what Imperial Topaz is.
Color of the setting sun.
Yeah, but that can range just as widely as what this does. There's actually some that basically say that trying to figure out the line of what is Imperial Topaz and what is just golden topaz is about the same as trying to figure out what is pink sapphire and what's ruby. Said there's a lot of ambiguity within that line there, and so it's pretty misinterpreted.
I'm going to say that, like, if you do the golden's almost going to have a little bit of orange or reddish towards the ends. And most of
You
these...
mean Imperial. If it's got the reddish in it.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's a golden topaz, it still needs to have that reddish or orange towards the ends. Yeah, because golden can be in Imperial Topaz.
Well, yeah, but if you're not going to call it Imperial Topaz, if you're just going to call it Golden Topaz, it's just going to be yellow. That's where some of that discrepancies come in, and where it's kind of
we got some discrepancy right here.
Yeah.
But they I guess you told them colors like pink and lavender pink, peachy pink.
Yeah, and by GIA's definition, Imperial Topaz is any topaz that has a medium reddish orange to orange red color. So it has to have some sort of a red modifier in there. If it gets too red, then it actually falls out of what they deem Imperial Topaz. And if it gets too yellow, it falls out of what they call Imperial Topaz.
I'd have to disagree.
See?
Because the rarest of the topazes
is the red. Right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's an Imperial Topaz. The big argument with it is this happened so long ago with it being named, and it was named because it was a certain color that the Russian royalty had, and they actually, whenever this was going on, the only ones that could own that particular color of topaz had to be Russian royalty. It was illegal for anybody else to own it.
The czars and the czarinas.
Czarinas?
Yeah. That's
all right.
The girls.
I kind of gathered it. Yeah. But, you know, I know
we haven't showed you any yet, have we?
I've shown a picture.
Pictures.
Yeah, I've shown a picture.
I guess what was kind of amazing is, and I was thinking that we were talking Imperial Topaz, and I think red should be in there, but I guess maybe it's not. But I didn't know that actually red topaz existed until I seen one. And I'd seen pink, and a lot of people, those November birthstone people come in and they're thinking that it's either going to be blue topaz or it's going to be this yellowish
citrine
brown,
and orangey brown.
Topaz, right.
Yeah.
So we have this pink topaz, and actually we've got a loose one too. I didn't bring it, but
No.
we've got this one, the pendant, that's pretty anyways. So I seen the first lavender one in New York, and I sat there and argued with the guy that I didn't think that existed either.
Yep.
And it does.
Yep.
And actually the lavender one I saw was more almost a lilac color.
Yeah.
But then there's this one guy that we see at the JCK show that always has something that's nobody else has or you don't see very often.
Yeah.
And so we come up there and there's this elongated pear-shaped redstone. Doesn't have a price on it, doesn't have a name of what it is, and I look at it and I'm pretty sure that it's not ruby because the pear shape is so long, and I knew there's no possibility that ruby is going to cut into something that elongated. So I'm thinking, well, that must...
Well, not normally, anyway.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's a tourmaline, but I'd never seen quite that color in even tourmaline. And it was like a bright red, which everybody would like to say that's my favorite color of ruby would be. So we go up there and I ask the guy, I said, what is this? And he goes, he asked me what I thought it was, and I go, well, I know it ain't ruby. And so I guess tourmaline, that was about my best guess.
I thought you said spinel.
No, I didn't say spinel. Spinel would have been a stretch too, probably. Because
any
this
of
was a
those.
fairly long pear
Yeah.
shape. And he goes, oh, he says, it's red topaz. And I go,
Mm.
really? I didn't even know it existed. And it was expensive. It was
Yeah.
expensive for me to buy it even at wholesale. But we've got this guy and the friend in the jewelry business that can come up with just about anything. And for the most part, I'm going to say the really nice stuff, uh, good possibilities that it can be less expensive than what we've been looking at previously. So I called him up and told him what I'd seen. He goes, oh yeah, he says I know the guy that owns that mine. I go, oh wow, this is good. We'll go right to the mine owner. And it was just as expensive as what I saw in Vegas, except I had to buy 5 times as much.
Ooh.
So I still do not own a red topaz, but it's just
Eventually.
but it's just incredible that stone. And you know the problem gets to be is there is so little of this in the world that's available.
Yeah.
I mean, this mine owner, what we were actually going to buy from him was out of his private collection. So it was actually a lot of stones, which not meaning a whole bunch, but there was
grouping.
Yeah, I think there was 5 stones in there, and maybe should have bought them because I've done a little reading and it sounds like maybe 80 to 90% of the world's Imperial Topaz production comes from basically 2 mines in Brazil, and they're talking about
They could be exhausted in the next few years.
Yeah. So, but anyways, let's show them maybe some of the. Oh, we got topaz crystals even.
Now we've got rough crystals, and these are in.
What other kind of crystals are there?
Huh?
What other kind of crystals? Unrough crystals?
Well, these are like really rough. They're not.
Well, this one's not so rough. I mean,
They're pretty rough.
Little included, maybe.
Yeah.
I think this got better
let's see if
structure.
you remember what crystal structure did these fall into.
Well, just looking at it, I'd say it's orthorhombic.
Hey, yeah.
So that's one reason why you get a lot of elongated shapes.
Now, this one, it's hard to tell. This one is Imperial. I know it looks like it's just yellow, but at the very ends of this crystal, it's actually pink.
Oh, let's see here. Let me get my...
Oh, that's too much light.
Too much. Let's go this way and see what happens.
Yeah, we still got too much.
Well...
Overachiever. Now we're getting close.
Yeah, you still can't tell it.
No.
You can see at the very end. We can see at the very end that it's a little bit
just
pink.
trust us. There's paint there. Yeah. So if this was just all yellow, this would actually just fall under golden topaz. But with it having pink at the ends, and this one that he's got is a little bit more reddish pink.
You can see it a little easier.
Yeah. So that falls in that Imperial.
To some degree, this stuff, depending on how they orient it, you can actually get that color almost. It looks like...
You can kind of change the color based on how it's, which way it faces, yeah.
But,
so these are what's called pleochroic stones, which means that they show more than one color from different directions.
And you get some of these that are elongated. I don't know if you can tell that one. You can kind of see that the ends are a little more
orangey pink. And it's kind of more of a pure orange in the middle. And this one's pretty much all pink. Let me see here. That might be a little easier to do with it in here. Have a white background anyway. But this one's pretty much more of an all-over pink. It's kind of a light pink, maybe more like a morganite, but
there's a little more golden color in it.
A little bit more golden to it. Something else that you could kind of compare some of this Imperial to would be like Podparacha Sapphire is similar. It's going to have kind of that orangey pink,
lotus flower
similar
look,
to a lotus flower.
Which I've never seen a lotus flower guess either. So they need to come up with something that I've seen that they do this description of.
Yeah, well, these colors are so different I don't know that there is something that
I think they kind of leave it weird like that so that,
it sounds more intriguing.
well, there's,
You don't want
You
it
know-
to sound like, oh, it looks like you mixed mayonnaise and ketchup together.
ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise.
There you go. There you go. Yeah,
That sounds bad.
that sounds terrible.
This is.
This is not a cooking show for good reason.
Let's see if I can get this up there where we can. This is a little pinker, a little more intense pink.
Is that a technical term? Pinker?
Yeah, pinker. You know, pink's kind of a weird word, anyways. You kind of think about it, pink.
It's more pink. It's pinkish.
Yeah, but you'd think
You don't have
for
pink
that color.
or pinkest.
Yeah,
Except
see,
the most
it's a
pink.
weird stone. Well,
Stone?
Color.
Color.
Whatever. Don't bother me here.
And oh, that one you can see a little bit better when you just kind of glance the light through. There we go. That's really what we're looking for.
Yeah, this is a really pretty stone.
Yeah.
It's cut well, pear shape, but that kind of helps with the color.
Now Topaz has one major problem for it.
A little cleavage problem.
It's got basal cleavage.
It's got
So-
really good basal cleavage.
Yeah. So it's one of those that, yeah, if it's
But it's-
struck just right, or if
Maybe
it's
not quite
set-
as tough, but it's really hard. It's like what, eight on nose hardness,
something like that. Yeah.
because you go diamond, sapphire, and then topaz.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. It's still fairly durable.
But that
can be
cleavage can be kinda
worn
detrimental.
in a ring.
As a matter of fact, this piece right here, the base of
Displays
this was cleaved. Yeah. I don't know if that one shows it too or not.
No, I don't know that it does.
But this one, you can see how this is just almost completely straight flat on the bottom. I don't know if I can get the light to reflect just right, but you can actually see that this isn't polished like that. This was actually a longer crystal, and this cleavage is why it broke flat off like that. So
almost break like in a mirror image of itself. So
Mhm.
both sides are polished.
yep. And yeah, when it breaks like this, it breaks completely flat, and
This has got it, but
it's perpendicular to the crystal growth. So as the crystal's growing up, the cleavage is actually coming directly across it. And so that's where some of these stones can have some issues. And a lot of times with these crystals, since they grow elongated like that, you end up with these like elongated pears and elongated ovals, stuff like that. Whereas in these, most likely that cleavage is going to be across the length of the stone. So, or across the width of the stone. Oh, why is that? Across the width of the stone. And so that's where it can kind of be a little bit tricky for jewelers and designers setting these, because they definitely want to make sure and give them a little bit of protection. And
but we were
I feel like it's more of an issue in like the imperial and the gold and stuff, rather than the blue and the colorless stuff is usually so clean you don't even really notice it.
I don't know that I've ever had to replace an Imperial Topaz because of that.
Yeah. At the same time, it's not like we've sold just a ton of that
No,
stuff either.
But still, there's some out there.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe haven't. No, we've sold probably as much rings as what we have pendants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I've ever sold a pair of Imperial Topaz earrings.
Well, let's get on that.
Yeah. we don't even have two matching stones right now.
That's probably the problem.
Maybe that may be it.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's hard to make matching earrings when you don't have matching stones.
A lot of this early on, Topaz, Imperial Topaz, like the Czars, basically they're the only ones that could have it, or said they were the only ones that could have it.
True.
But one of the more famous topazes in the world, Imperial Topazes, is the Baranga. Or Braganza, I guess is what it is. And it's in the Portuguese crown. And originally they thought that was a diamond, but somewhere along the line. I guess they got smarter or whatever. But then in the Smithsonian, we have a fairly large, one of the larger faceted topazes. I think it's almost 94 carats. So
That's a big stone.
that'd be a big stone. Not quite belt buckle size, but
Yeah,
you could put it in a belt buckle and feature it there, I guess.
You could.
Then I don't know if you guys have ever watched the. It was on the Weather Channel, which was kind of weird. It was these people in around that Mount Antero area that were mining, and they had, I mean, like one of the family's name was the Dorises, and I don't remember the one guy, but the one guy he was doing pulling a bunch of big topaz out, and that was Imperial Topaz.
Was he using like a tow truck to do that?
No, he was using a little pick and
Just a little pick?
Yep, just a little pick and a little hammer.
Like a
and,
toothpick?
No, it was bigger than a toothpick. Bigger than a toothpick, but smaller than a bread box.
Ah.
One of those deals. But I mean, he had
Still
one.
a range
He had
there.
one that he pulled out that was like about the size of his fist.
Wow.
So I didn't even.
This was on the Weather Channel?
Yeah, I forget what the thing was called.
Was he doing this in a storm or something?
No, it was just the weather was kind of a big deal, especially on Mount Antero, because it could be nice and sunny, and then all of a sudden they get rain or hail or snow, and it could be like in the middle of summer. So, and then lightning, they had to worry about that. So I guess that's kind of how they got that on the Weather Channel. But
It's a stretch.
It was kind of cool.
That's a stretch.
I don't remember. There was one lady that basically that was her income, was basically, I think she did more maybe aquamarines or whatever. But the one guy was doing topaz, and I was just amazed at how big some of them were that he pulled out of there.
Yeah, I think there was, when I was reading back through here, kind of trying to refresh a little bit, like they said that some of the largest crystals have been in excess of 440 pounds.
440 pounds?
440 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was back in like the late 1800s, something like that. It was in Brazil.
Well, they must, maybe that's why there's not much left, is all in one big pile.
Yeah.
They got it out of there.
Yeah. I was going to see if I could find that again, because I just thought that was incredible.
Well, if somebody out there would like to have a red topaz, I
Yeah.
know where we can get one. It's just that we have to pay a chunk of cash to get the thing.
Yeah, it says most of these imperial crystals are less than an inch long, but can sometimes reach almost 8 inches in length and 4 inches across. But they've had some large crystals weighing more than 440 pounds. Now that you would need a tow truck for.
I wonder if they got a picture of that. We ought to kind of look that up. I wonder if it still exists.
No, they probably cut it into a bunch of.
You think?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
something like that.
Who's going to wear that?
Well, they ain't going to wear it, but it'd
A
be
T-Rex?
be a museum specimen. 440 pounds, that's not
That is a museum. 440-pound crystal, you could carve that thing out.
No. Well,
Yeah.
Maybe if it was like real included or something, not gem quality.
Yeah.
Then they could still be a crystal somewhere. But it's going to be an elongated one. I mean, it's going to be, well, what is it, 8 foot long?
I don't know. It's like pulling a telephone pole out or something.
Oh, look, we found a golden telephone pole.
That sounds bad.
That would be a big pencil, because some
It
of
would.
these, some of these
come
almost
out with a
go-
number 2 on the side.
Yeah, because it'd be kind of that color.
Maybe.
Golden color.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't say what color it was, but yeah, that came out of. Oh, it doesn't even say. Oh yeah, Minas Gerais.
Yeah, they're in Brazil.
Yeah. So yeah, that would have been a good day at the mine.
They did produce topaz in Russia.
In Pakistan.
Pakistan, yeah.
Pakistan's really known for more of the violet and purple gems.
Yeah.
And those they call them
is it because of the lithium?
cyclamen.
Excuse me?
Cyclamen?
Cyclamen?
Cyclamen flower? I don't know. It's this pink flower. Pinkish purple flower. So that they named it after that. Yeah.
When I thought we had weird names in the mineral kingdom, but
Oh.
that flower deal.
Yeah, but you want to go to weird names. I mean, go to pharmaceuticals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Minerals
are
That's not
archaic.
That's not nature stuff.
No.
The other thing
but it's
about
still people naming stuff.
The other thing about this is Imperial Topaz, for the most part, is not treated.
Right.
Now there is a little bit that is
Heated.
irradiated. I don't know that there's any heat.
Yeah. There's some that's heated because what's causing this color in these, believe it or not, is chromium. Is causing the pinks and the reds and some of the orange, but color centers are what's causing the yellows and some of the lighter oranges. So what they do is they actually heat the stones. They pack them in sand, and they heat them very slowly up to, it was like 980 degrees, something like that. And then they allow them to basically slowly cool.
The Imperial or the blues?
Yep. The Imperial, because the blue is irradiated. 932 degrees. And then they let them cool down a little bit, and whenever they're doing that, that heat actually removes the color centers and it leaves more of the pink and red behind, which is the chromium. And it's actually so stable that it's actually a permanent treatment and they can't trace it. So they have to be real careful about when it's coming into the trade, knowing where the source is at and who has had it, who's handled it, to know whether it's been treated or not. Because it's undetectable.
I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah. So, it's, like I said, it's the chromium, which normally in most gems is causing a blue or green color. In topaz is actually causing a red to purple to orange color. And then you have color centers in there that are causing the yellows.
That's kind of a cool little specimen there.
Yeah. So they do occasionally heat this stuff, but topaz is not real stable with high heat. Most of the time it's pretty stable, whenever we're just cleaning it, steaming it, stuff like that. But whenever we're getting into, like jewelry repairs and stuff like that, it can either lose color or it can change color, or it can actually just destroy the stone. So we have to be really careful with that.
I wonder why they use sand.
It doesn't. It
holds the heat.
It holds the heat a little bit better, so they can control the temperature, and it's not because it's the temperature changes. Like they don't like
a special sand.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
no, they're doing that to basically insulate it so that they can regulate that temperature and
so they don't
thermal shock is what really hurts the stone.
They don't want it to heat too fast or cool too fast.
Yeah. So, it's kind of like when you're making stuff out of glass, whenever it's molten and everything, you got to bring that temperature up pretty slow, and then whenever you go to cool it, you have to put it in a leer and let it cool down slowly. A leer.
Like a jet?
Sure. And so you let it cool down slowly so that the glass doesn't shatter.
What's a leer?
A leer is basically a little furnace, but it reduces temperature on the glass slowly so that it slowly cools over several hours instead.
Well, for us people that don't know about the glass thing, you should have said just a little furnace. A little oven.
Well, it's more than just a little oven. It's a little
what you
hotter.
said it was.
It's a little hotter than that. Put a pizza in it, it'll be done in about 3 seconds.
Well, you could do a furnace. A furnace can get hotter.
Yeah.
You got the like steel furnaces and stuff.
Yeah.
So furnace. Because nobody knows what. Do you guys know what a leer is? I didn't know what a leer was. See, I learned something today.
Yeah. You also learned that you could heat treat.
Yeah, I didn't know you could treat it either. Because for the most part, I would say that everything that I've ever bought, none of the Imperial Topaz is treated.
Yeah. No. I think it's a pretty rare process. But the other thing is we don't really know, because a lot of that, unless they're disclosing that, there's no way to detect whether it's been heated or not.
And I see where they do it with the reds, so that would be
Yeah, to eliminate some of that yellow that's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the thing is they don't, not all topaz will accept that heat treatment. So they have to be pretty careful about what ones they're selecting to do that. How they do that, we don't know. That's one of those trade secrets that
They're not going to tell us anyways?
Nope.
Because they're worried about us putting it in an oven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oven in that special sand.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we need to ask a question.
Ah. Well, how about
Where did Imperial Topaz get its name? Why is it called Imperial Topaz?
Oh, we could do that.
So is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the question is...
But we're not giving a topaz away. What are we giving away?
Well, we could give a topaz away. It'd just be not an imperial one because we don't have much of it. So it'd have to be like a blue topaz or
Okay.
white topaz.
We could do a blue topaz.
Yeah. So that's the question is what or where did Imperial Topaz get its name?
Yeah.
Why is it called?
Not just
why is it called Imperial Topaz?
Not just topaz, just Imperial Topaz.
Yeah, just Imperial Topaz.
Since that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we do? We give them a little bit.
We can give them a little bit.
So what do we do? Hum our favorite song or something like that until they figure this out. Let's see.
Well,
Is nobody's even
no,
tried to?
No, not yet. We talked about it a little bit. And I guess we can give them a little bit of hint too. Is that whenever it was named, because of its name, most people couldn't own it legally.
Well, I don't know about the legal part.
Well,
it's more like you're not going to own it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
You think that was a good hint?
I don't know. It was a hint. I'm not sure how good a one it was.
Okay, let's see if we can come up with.
What is one of the main colors for Imperial Topaz? That'd be too easy.
Well, I was going to say what
Gabe's,
I consider the rarest of.
Gabe says he knows, but there's a difference between saying I know and actually answering the question. I mean, if that's how you could answer questions, man, everybody should be like having a perfect score on like the SATs and stuff.
We'd be geniuses, wouldn't we?
Right? Yeah. All you have to say is I know, and people. Oh, okay. Well then, fine.
You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabe knows how Imperial Topaz got its name.
I hope that helps everybody else out.
Well, maybe what he's doing is he's waiting to see if somebody else figures it out. And then he'd say, see, I knew that.
It's not really like an I told you so kind of thing.
I'm still waiting on my last prize. What do you mean?
On your last pride?
Prize. Oh,
no,
pride.
He said pride. I don't know what you're going to do with that, but...
Well, somebody told us that they didn't want it.
Yeah, and that somebody is the one
that
complaining about it. Yeah. So I'm thinking that he's just kind of bluffing at this point.
Okay, so do we want to give another hint or ask another question?
I'd say we just ask another question, and then see if Gabe says he knows again. Okay, what country does the vast majority of Imperial Topaz come from?
That's good. That's a good one.
That narrows it down to like 200 and some.
But gem mineral countries.
Yeah. That narrows it down a lot.
Yeah.
That narrows it down a lot. But that's what we're looking for, is what country does Imperial Topaz, the majority of, come from?
Yeah. Probably 80-90% of it.
Yeah. And it's in the Western Hemisphere.
Could you say southwestern?
Yes, you could.
You
It's in the Southern and Western Hemispheres.
Yeah.
So that narrows it down to a quarter of the globe.
Yeah, yeah.
Still a lot of countries in that region.
Yes, there is. I don't think I could name all of them either. I'll bet I can't get half of them.
I'll bet I could get close to half of them.
You think?
Yeah.
There'll be some little bitty ones that you.
There's going to be some little bitty ones, yeah, but
Maybe we could get half.
maybe.
How many do you think there are?
I'm going to say about 45.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought maybe there'd be more.
No.
We're talking about the western and southern hemisphere.
Yeah, it's almost all ocean.
I don't know. I think there's going to be
Now,
more.
you get into the eastern hemisphere, and you're going to have a lot more countries.
Oh.
So, okay, so we still don't have an answer. I guess what we do is we let it go. So somebody later today, and we're going to go by basically timestamps on here. The first one to answer one of those two questions will win a Topaz today. So,
Okay. So tell them the two questions again.
Okay, so the two questions. How did Imperial Topaz get its name? And the second one, and you need to answer either one of these to win, is what country does the vast majority of Imperial Topaz come from? Where does it originate? So, we'll be watching, and like I said, whoever comes up with the answer first is going to win a Topaz. And
People with November birthstone, this is this is a really pretty gemstone.
Yeah.
And Topaz does come in other colors. We basically talked about the rarest one today, which was Imperial Topaz.
Yeah. So, but thank you guys. Good luck, and we'll be waiting for an answer. So we will see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.